One of the most beautiful things about being a content creator online is having the opportunity to work with brands that you already love. Chipotle, I'm talking to you. Now, although that would be a dream, that's not what we're talking about today. So one of my new brand partners and sponsor of this video is actually Cuts Clothing. I'm gonna tell you more about them later, but first let's go through the tips of how I created the ad that you saw in the intro of this video. So the first step is pre-production, okay? You wanna make sure that these two things align, your branding style and the partner's branding style, okay? And that's kind of hard to do sometimes, but if you figure out the right brand to work with, it's pretty easy. So it's important that you do some research, and the research is going to involve you going to their websites, you know, like kind of getting the feel for what their stuff looks like, what their product looks like, the content they already create for their website. Then go to their social media site, all right? Look at their Instagram stories, look at their Instagram posts, their reels, and really get a feel for what the brand is doing. When you want to get a feel for what it looks like, you want to get a feel for the textures they use, okay? And see how you can make sure that they align with what you do on your social media pages too. The next step in the pre-production process is product prep. I don't care if it's a t-shirt or a stapler, okay? Every product needs some prep time. You got to make sure it looks good on camera because cameras tell all. It's very sharp. These 4K, 6K cameras, they tell everything, okay? Prep time can be a nightmare for some, especially if you do like tech, and because I don't know what it is about tech, but it just attracts our crusty fingerprints so much. I don't know why you can't have any good food before you're doing tech reviews, because you're gonna make that device look real. So in this case, we're doing clothing. So with clothing, it's very hard because you want to make sure that you get all the wrinkles out, all right? Clothing just has this tendency to just want to wrinkle up even when it's like a situation where you have it hanging up perfectly. So the preferred way to prep your clothing is actually going to be using a steamer. So I prefer to use a steamer because I don't want those creases from an iron. So the steamer actually makes it look smooth, really makes it look fresh, like it just came out of the new packaging. So that's the look you want to have, is that it looks new, it looks fresh, all right? So what I like to do, even on shoots when I have people in the studio, I always like to bring my own steamer just in case. There are usually steamers in studios, but when there's not, you still need a steamer, okay? You want to get all those wrinkles out to make sure the product looks pristine and perfect. Next thing you want to do as far as product prep, you want to kind of do a little research and figure out what are the proper accents to go with it. Like, you know, what is going to be on a table if you're doing food photography? What are, you know, the things like a knife, a little salt on the side. Same goes with clothing. You want to make sure whether the jeans, the shoes, the jewelry, what goes with the product, what goes with the clothing that you're already marketing. All right, last step in pre-production. Yes, we're still talking about pre-production. Location, okay? Look at the content that your brand partner is already posting. What's the location? Is it in a city? Is it in like a more of a greenery place? Is it like a loft style apartment? I don't know, a hotel room? Figure it out. For me, I looked at Cuts, and it's just like most of their stuff is in studio. You can have it on location, but they really want to highlight the product, all right? So you want to make sure you're highlighting the product, and a lot of times with clothing, the best way to do that is going to be in the studio space. So since I'm already in my studio space, what I was able to do is just use my white wall back here and create that look that I wanted that kind of aligns with the look that they have on their social media and their website. And speaking of website, this video is sponsored by Cuts Clothing, okay? So with this partnership, they wanted me to create some content, and I was like, hey, instead of just creating content, I want to show you all how I make it, but I'm gonna let you know about Cuts, okay? They make some of the best fitting clothing you can ever have, and it's also very minimalistic. It can blend in with anything. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. The material is so soft. I would tell you, I've tried a lot of shirts out there. When it comes to t-shirts, these are the softest shirts I've ever owned in my entire life. Look at me right now, this right here, this is a Cuts t-shirt, okay? It goes well with the whole ambiance of what I got going on, okay? It's very good with the accents. Cuts has a lot of products as far as the t-shirts. There's the elongated, there's the curved hem, and there's even a split hem shirt that they have, and they all look really good. They all fit very well. They have a lot of good minimalistic, great feeling material, great fitting clothing. And I just want you to go down there below, hit the link down there below and go and check them out. I guarantee you they got something that even you are going to like. I just need to look fly in my Cuts clothing while telling you about Cuts clothing. So thank you, Cuts, for sponsoring this video. Yes, this video is sponsored, but just keep in mind, these are tips that you can use for any brand or any brand partner that you have. All right, now we're on to step 2, and we're talking about the process of shooting the actual content. I'm using the Sony FX3, and the way I'm using the FX3 is actually shooting it vertically because they have these 1/4-inch threads that are all around the cameras. The reason why I'm shooting this vertically is because I understand the intent is actually to be posted on social media. That is the main place it's going to be posted and ran as far as an ad if I needed to run an ad. But shooting it vertically allows me that social media flexibility to be able to use it how I need to use it on social. So for lighting, okay, I'm using the Godox VL200. I've told you about this light many a times in the video. The main thing I'm doing different is I'm actually using a larger softbox, a humongous softbox. And the reason why is because I want to spread more light across my white wall. So the second light is simply there to light me, and that is the Godox VL150. I have a softbox on it with a grid because it's simply there again to light me. I'm using the background light only for the background. So that means I'm going to bring myself closer. I'm going to bring myself forward away from this light on the side. Therefore, I'm not letting that light bleed on me and like causing an overspill of light. So I want to control that. So when I walk up and bring myself forward away from that background light, what ends up happening is you create a silhouette. You want to be able to create that silhouette. So now when you turn on your second light, it is simply lighting you, and that's it. So you're properly exposed while making sure your background is exposed. Last thing, and a very, very important, is going to be the performance, the presentation, okay? How do you present the product? In this case, I'm looking at the content that Cuts puts up, especially the video content. And it's a lot of Birdman hand rubs. I don't know what it is about fashion and clothing, but all you see is this. What is, I never knew that Birdman was a fashion icon. Another thing is I understand that their bread and butter are t-shirts with different bottoms. So that's the curved hem, the split hem, and the elongated hem. So I wanted to make sure I was, getting some shots to really highlight that. Again, you want to make sure it aligns with what they already do, but also make it align with what you already do too. So the last step is going to be editing. All right, we're not going to go deep in that just because it's going to be a combination of your personal taste and what you already see on their page. Okay, so just try to be creative, figure out how to make it align with you. Yet again, like I've already said before, figure out how it aligns with not only you, but also the brand you're working with. So you got a little bit more creative liberty, but just make sure, it still feels, it feels the same as their page, because if you want them to share it, it has to be something that they can share on their page and not stand out and look weird. You want it to blend, you want it to be seamless, okay? So there you go. Those are the steps of how I made the ad. Keep in mind that I wanted to make sure that I documented the process because this was a real problem that I had to solve. I wanted to shoot on location, but trying to, get people in that location and really work out schedules is very hard, but I had a deadline to meet, and I wanted to show you how you can create really good branded content at home and meet those deadlines. And I wanted to make sure that I gave them something that looked good, but I wanted to make sure I was very timely. And sometimes you just have to come up with a creative idea and do it yourself. And it's just wild, man, because so many people did not know I shot that at home, and now you know. And I wanted to make sure I documented the process and showed you how I went about doing so that you can take those same principles and apply them to what you do in your daily process too. But there you go. Hopefully this video helps. Please like, comment, subscribe to your boy, as I always say, and thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.